I've wanted to make a video about healthcare in the Philippines for quite a long time. You see, I have Crohn's disease, and that's a pretty rare and terrible disease that affects my stomach, and I have to get very special attention and medicine for it in order to keep it under control. For the longest time, I wondered whether I could get the proper care and medicine here in the Philippines for this very rare disease. And the fact is, in Manila I have. All 10 of the top 10 hospitals in the Philippines are right here in Metro Manila. In fact, a couple of them were voted as some of the best hospitals in all of Asia. It's nice to know that I can get the proper care here that I need, but the problem is that there's actually a lot of Filipino doctors and nurses that aren't even here. In fact, some of the best of these medical personnel are working elsewhere, like in Australia or America or Korea or Europe. They're working everywhere. The level of care you can get in the Philippines is quite good if you have the money for it. And that's true of pretty much anywhere in the world. But I wonder if there were more Filipino doctors and nurses here. Because as we know, the best are elsewhere outside of the Philippines. I wonder if they came back, if there'd be more top tier facilities throughout the Philippines and not just in Metro Manila. One other thing that I've gotten used to here is that hospital beds are pretty cheap. Medicine is also pretty cheap, and doctor's visits are too cheap, honestly. I pay anywhere from $10 to $20 to see a specialist here. And in America, you would pay at least $200 to $300 out of pocket to see a specialist. Hospital beds here are about $100 per night. In America, it's much higher. It's $2,000 per day for average medical expenses in the US. I don't need medical insurance because paying out of pocket here is completely doable. It's sort of like a dream world. The problem is that someone loses out when care is so cheap. The doctors and nurses who work here are not being paid as much as they should be paid. Nurses could easily get $4,000 per month in America, easily. But here, they have to struggle to get over $600 per month. See, the cost of the hospital is low, which means the pay for the doctors and nurses is low. And that pushes out some of the best doctors and nurses from the Philippines because they want to go get paid better elsewhere. And I don't blame them. However, I think that there is a glimmer of hope here. The Philippine economy is getting better every single year. I can tell because I've been reading the newspapers, I've been seeing the GDP growth, I've been seeing all these developments, and I believe that the Philippines is going to get better and better and better as far as the economy goes in the future. I believe that as the Philippines continues to prosper, pay will inevitably rise, the level of care throughout the whole entire Philippines, and not just Manila, will get better, and maybe in 10 to 20 years, the best Filipino doctors and nurses will actually come back to the Philippines to work here, to be closer to their families, etc. And I also hope that more Filipinos will be able to pay their medical bills, which is also a big problem here, but to be honest, it's also a problem in America. While the cost of medical care can make the Philippines a prime spot for medical tourism, or when someone comes here just to get a pricey medical operation done for less money, the problem is that the Filipino doctors and nurses that work here, they deserve more money. As a foreigner, I'm very impressed with the level of care that I have received. I like how whenever you go to the doctor's office, it's first come, first serve. In America, it's, you have to schedule everything way in advance. It's just different here. It's a different vibe here in the Philippines. But the level of care is still superb. I can get the medicine that I need. I've been able to take care of this disease that has really controlled a big part of my life. So for that, I'm incredibly grateful. I think that healthcare in the Philippines is only going to improve in the future. It's already very good. I'm very impressed, and if anyone wants to come here and is thinking about living here in the future, any foreigners, anything like that, just know that you can get just as good medical care here as anywhere in the world. And I believe that if you go to certain hospitals in Metro Manila. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, Tom out.